We all want to make the world a little more welcoming, right? But what if one of the most powerful tools to do that is something we use literally every single day? Our words. So today, we're going to dive into how the language we choose can build a more inclusive world, especially for people with disabilities. Just think about it for a second. That feeling of being left out or misunderstood or just not seen. It's a pretty universal feeling, isn't it? Well, imagine if the words people used around you created that feeling every single day. That's the reality for a lot of people. And this isn't some small niche topic. We're talking about over 1 billion people around the globe who live with a disability. That is a huge part of our world population. It means the language we use has this massive, massive impact, and getting it right really, truly matters. Okay, so why are we focusing so much on words? I mean, what's the real impact of choosing one phrase over another? Let's break down why our language is just so important. It really boils down to three big things. First, using inclusive language recognizes and respects our differences, instead of just pretending they're not there. Second, it's a huge symbol of acceptance. It shows that we see a person's abilities, not just their disability. And finally, it just shows you're actually interested in connecting with them as a person. It makes people feel seen and included. It's kind of like building a bridge instead of a wall. Now, to keep building on that, we kind of need to be on the same page with our vocabulary. So in this next part, we're going to quickly go over three really essential ideas that will help us have these conversations with a lot more confidence. First up is accessibility. This is really all about how user-friendly something is for absolutely everyone. Think about a website, for example. Can someone who uses a screen reader actually navigate it? Or think about a building. Is there a ramp for someone who uses a wheelchair? That right there, that's accessibility in action. Next, let's talk about assistive technology. Basically, this is any tool, any piece of software or equipment that helps people function more independently. This could be anything from a screen reader that reads text out loud for someone with a vision disability, all the way to a wheelchair that gives someone mobility. These are all tools for independence. And this brings us to a really modern and I think powerful way to understand the word disability itself. It's not about what's wrong with someone's body. Instead, it's about the mismatch between their body and the world around them. For example, a building that only has stairs creates a disability for a wheelchair user. The barrier is the environment, not the person. Thinking about it that way, it really changes everything. All right, so now for the really practical part. We've covered the why and the what, so let's get into the how. Here are some super clear, simple tips you can literally start using the second this is over. If you only take one single thing away from this whole explainer, please let it be this. The single most important shift you can make is to start using person-first language. It sounds simple, but I promise you it changes everything. So what does that actually mean? It's easy. Instead of saying a disabled person, you say a person with a disability. Instead of a visually impaired person, you say a person with a vision disability. See the difference? It's a small change in word order, but it makes a huge difference in meaning. It puts the person first, right where they belong, and it frames their disability as just one aspect of who they are, not their entire identity. And hey, as we pick up new, better habits, we also have to let go of some old ones. Words like handicapped, retarded, mute, or wheelchair-bound, they're now considered really outdated and honestly offensive. They carry a lot of negative baggage, and it's time to just retire them from our vocabulary for good. This is all about how we interact, too. A few simple rules can make a world of difference. First, always talk directly to the person, not their friend or interpreter. Make natural eye contact, just like you would with anyone else. This next one's big. Respect their personal space and equipment. So never touch a person or their assistive devices, like a wheelchair or cane, without permission. And you know what? Just be yourself. Speak at a normal tone. Oh, and if you're with someone who has a vision disability, a simple, polite, "Hey, I'm heading out now," lets them know the conversation is over. It's all about respect and just being aware. Now, these rules and phrases, they aren't just about abstract etiquette or being proper. They have a real, tangible, human impact. And to really get that, let's hear it from a personal perspective. Just listen to these powerful words from Thabo Besiki. He says, "Whenever I hear this word, disabled person, I feel like the speaker does not acknowledge my capabilities. To me, the word disabled means dysfunctional, debilitated, or incapacitated." Wow. I mean, that just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? This isn't about being politically correct. It's about acknowledging someone's full humanity, their capabilities. Our words have real weight. So that brings us to the end of our explainer. But really, it's a beginning. We've seen why our words matter, we've learned some key ideas, and we have real practical steps we can take. So the only question left is the one right here. How will you make your world more welcoming?